Thorn Rose, puncture, and you're safe.
Your team
Will it
is
grant
As such, we
immortality?
have broken walls that will be
said there are
apparent
no
in this map.
shortcuts in
AZ
life?
is going to be
I
first
literally
pick and of
invented
course
one.
left out with Team Flash for second. So ultimately we have Angela, we got Baxia, Chip, Kalia, and Alice that have already joined into the banning pool. So goodbye to them.
Once again, Flash SG doesn't want to see the doesn't want to see Alice for the light of the day. I think Farsa is also one of the things that Absolute Zero would love to go for. Do they sacrifice the first pick for that one, or are they going to take the Yushin Shin for themselves? Looking at the stats, I don't think they should go for it. I think they could easily opt for the Lancelot instead, which is something that Fake Cutie can play quite comfortably.
Indeed. So I think Farsa, Lancelot can both be a viable first pick material for AZ. Well, in the meantime, I think it has been pretty normal for R1, R2 to go for heroes such as like a Kalia and a Lunox or a Farsa. Looks like it is going to be a Yin Sushin indeed.
A bit of a confidence boost right there, especially taking one game from one of the biggest teams in Singapore right here. I think Absolute Zero, they've got absolutely nothing to lose.
Technically speaking, how far up in the leaderboards are they?
Yeah, look at that. Yushin Shin is like what, 100%. If it's almost open, it almost gets picked.
Either picked or banned, right?
First, yeah.
But it's no
First
longer 100%, right? It's like 90-something% already because there was one game that was completely leaked out.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so
if it's picked, he's definitely first pick.
Yeah, you can lose the data again. Just removed it. So how many percent is it actually?
Wait.
Your team is picking.
Well, yeah, it's still there. It's 100%.
It's still 100%.
Yeah, it's still 100%.
Okay.
If he's picked, it's definitely going to be blue one pick.
If it's picked, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Well,
got it.
this also opens up the Lunox over the side of Flash. I was expecting, the Farsa being counterpicked by the side of Flash SG because that's something that Cortese likes to play. And Absolute Zero instead needs to can also definitely secure the Farsa right here in the B2, B3 pick. And if you look back at the stats from the side of game number 1, it is a Flash SG win with a Lunox on Cortese against, even though they're fighting up against a Farsa.
So Grok available, Grok picked, Farsa available. Farsa should be picked. I'm just going to assume that it's going to be a Farsa pick because I don't see any other reason why they will go for.
Oh, Juicin.
Okay.
By the way, interestingly, right, for the side of Juicin has been almost quite banned. It was banned quite a lot of times as well, especially when we're going into Broken Walls this time around. You expect Juicin to be appearing mostly on the dangerous grass kind of map, and pick ban rate of 84%, and as of wins, hasn't won any single games yet, even though it's
not a
five
singles.
Times. Nope.
Damn, that's kind of sad. So that means that AZ, notably with a Juicin, they need to find more ways of damage, right? More sources of damage. Now they lack the mid laner for a reliable source of damage. They have a lot of crowd control in their cases. They even have global. They even have global intel.
That's J-Cho coming up from the side of Flash SG.
J-Cho.
The one that we know and love, and also should be able to be there to peel for Vanix or Cortese. Well, Cortese does have its own peeling mechanism on the Brilliance, but Lunox does not do well against the Juicin because what you want to do as a Lunox is you want to go in Ruby DD, stand there, and after that start throwing the Dark Chaos shots. That's when the Juicin could just easily pick you up and then after that fling you away.
Yeah, it makes you waste quite a bit of time during your darkening stage. So it's not necessarily going to be a mage versus mage kind of lineup, but in terms of mid lane control and mid lane's fight, because of the fact that there is a Cho, it's pretty fair to say that the mid lane priority for Team Flash is going to be so much faster. Just a single wave clear of the cosmic fission plus 2 of the Jit Kundo. That's the entire wave clear. They don't even have to care about the Juicin. They don't even have the opportunity between the Lunox and the Juicin to fight together.
So, which means that Flash actually wants to really explore the map a lot more harder.
Yes.
Start ganking the side lanes instead.
I am not
But
the
right now,
only
we haven't
one
seen
bound
any from
by
side
these
lanes coming out from the side
chains.
Absolute Zero. Flash, on the other hand, well, they would not get the Moskov anymore. Vanix, I don't think he's able going to be playing the Moskov anytime soon.
Yeah. They want a high prio XP lane so that they can constantly just control the rivers at all time. CC is not available anymore. What are the... I think...
Well, Closer played the Uranus and also Esmeralda.
That's true.
Constantly. It always switches in between these two.
Lapu doesn't really doesn't do very well pre-level 4. I'm looking for a condition where the XP laner just does well in the straight at level 2. And generally that's not Uranus. Esmeralda can be a thing.
Well,
Arlet's not bad also.
Alright, it's going to be Esmeralda for the side Flash.
Okay.
Instead,
Arlet's banned.
Yep. So Arlet's already taken away. Esmeralda. Here we go. Gold bait. Let's go. Absolute Zero.
Yep. Expected.
That's exactly what I was been asking since yesterday, right? And now all of a sudden there's a lot of zone denial that Absolute Zero could do, right? Imagine a tectonic charge right into a deadly catch, right into the mountain shocker. There's a lot of AoE control that Absolute Zero can easily toss against Flash SG.
So right now they're just lacking of a single XP laner, which needs to go up against with an Esmeralda. Let's take a look. What are the XP laners
I think a
currently?
Uranus here can work against an Esmeralda, or they can also go back to a Lapu Lapu. But no, they're going to stick to a Uranus instead. Same idea, right? You want to slow everybody down to make sure that with your Ionic Blades, so that it's easier for your Grok to basically land your Tectonic Charge and also Deadly Catch.
I'm pretty sure that some of these XP laners are actually kind of missed out. There should be quite a bit of XP laners that can still come up to be pretty darn strong, especially since you're going up against an Esmeralda, such as a Dairoth, if they want heroes such as a Burst Potential, for example.
Yep.
I miss Dairoth now. Like you said, Esmeralda. You want to deny the XP laner from going out of the lane, then bring the Dairoth in. Especially since it's a Juicin from your team, you are lacking that burst potential, then Dairoth will make up for the burst.
Bane has a lot of bursts.
Later into the game.
No, even early in the game.
It's not that much.
Have you not get spat on by the Bane before? Because I
spat
did.
on people.
Anyways, it's going to be a Bruno for the side of Vanix. This is one of his cup heroes like 2 seasons ago, right? So finally being pulled out for this time. Hopefully this is the main thing that will be able to deal with the main damage coming out from Bane. Burst down the Hades, burst down the Yushin quickly as well, and a lot of hopes is riding on the Lord Vanix, right? Because I think as of now, his performance, because he has to split his brain between a fighter and marksman role, it means that he's really destroying a bit of an identity crisis happening in the Land of Dawn right here. So hopefully this is basically one way for him to ground himself down. And now not only just that, you've got Hades comfortably back on his assassins, back on his Lancelots. So we need to see how Flash actually perform with this one.
Flash, they should still have very good lane prio in the middle lane. It really, otherwise really depends on where they want to go. I would like to believe that they want to focus more onto the gold lane and enable that Bruno. Ultimately, even if they don't enable the Bruno and get Bruno out of lane, he's still going up against a Bane, who does have sustainability, but loses out in that... Actually, no, it doesn't lose on poke, because he does have the very annoying Crab Claw cannon that can poke out that Bruno as well. So most of the time, I would expect Flash, they will go down bottom.
Well, we shall see. And right now, it's just going to be Jay opening up the map quite a bit right here. Reviews, Nomad Reviews, Fake QD, and Bougie. Vital information for Vanix as well.
3% just around the vicinity. They really want to go for the Little Wanderer, which is no problems at all. Took that down just that easily. Now, Jay is a bit out of position. Haven't exactly cleared the wave too fast, but it's not going to be a problem. In fact, they have decided to do a little bit more poke damage, which is not exactly the most ideal, since Jay now has to go home as he don't have a lot of HP to kind of work with.
Yeah. I think right here for the side of Jay, it's that you're gonna have a little bit of difficulties, right? If you don't aim your Way of the Dragon properly, you're just gonna kick Nomad when he's like CC immune, and then after that, you're just gonna eat a face full of rock right there. So I think it's really up to his timing when it comes to knocking up somebody and isolating perhaps Bougie away. But if you isolate Bougie, Bougie could easily goes into the ultimate and all of a sudden you're just getting a lot of picking up damage, and there you go, Kurt TZ taking a lot of that one. Then here comes the Yi Shunshin damage first blood, giving overside a fake cutie right off the bat.
No problems. Easy game for AZ to pick up that first one. And this is going to help them so much because Katizi is now stuck at level 3, while the mid lane creeps have crashed all the way to the opponent's turret. I don't think that Katizi have the time to reach level 4 fast enough, given that the creep waves should be almost over and disappeared.
Yep, Fender execution right there. Tried to steal away the turtle, but it's going to be fake QD down low as well. Closer will be there to also try to up the damage. Vendetta picks up Hades. Unfortunately, the puncture will not allow him to get on away as the members on the side of Absolute Zero stacks onto Closer. Jay coming in with a knock-up. No follow-up for now for the side of Flash SG.
That's an immediate losing fight. Understandably, how there is no Lunox with his with her ultimate, and there is no Cho that can go for the kicks. So Absolute Zero taking that is completely understandable, and they can even expand even further by jumping right into the opponent's jungle and stealing that orange buff.
Yep, Katizi goes into the Darkening Form. We'll be able to catch on to Vendetta. We're expecting a more growth coming out from Vanix right here. Should be able to hit the Power Spike a lot earlier as compared to Salas, because usually for a Magic Vein, you could just go straight for the Holy Crystal. But Vanix, on the other hand, could do a lot of consistent DPS if Salas doesn't use the second skill on time.
Looks like that invasion coming in from Vendetta didn't really quite do much work, hoping that they can extend the lead out a little bit more. But Uranus doing Uranus thing,
Hades
right?
getting picked up by the Juicy once again, has to run away. Thorn Rose can't really actually catch who picks up the purple bar. The Mountain Shocker coming off a fake cutie. He's actually going in 1v3, will be a pick up Jay at the same time, looking for the next one. Kurt Teasy goes into Brilliance just in the tick of time. Bougie raining shower and damage, picking up a double kill. Fake cutie and Closer getting picked up by Bougie over and over again, and it's just gonna be super tough for the side Flash SG to deal with Absolute Zero.
Right in the nick of time, while Bougie immediately went straight in to give a quick little assistance over to Fade Cutie. That was like a 1v3 game for Fade Cutie, and Fade Cutie still got out of that completely alive.
Yeah,
that's not a good news.
Yeah, if the fact that a rookie, technically speaking, could be able to do that for Jay. Oh, that's a wrong angle kick coming up from Bougie.
Yeah, he doesn't have that flicker, so I think that's somewhat normal. Imagine if you use the flicker and still wrong angle. Yikes.
And Absolute Zero is now living rent-free in Flash SG side of the map. The broken walls allow Absolute Zero to absolutely leak into Flash SG, limiting the already limited farm that Flash SG will be able to find.
Honestly, this is kind of what we want to see when you draft a Yi Sun-shin. Have such a strong opening hand that allows you to just push the entire map away, right? To have under 5 minutes, you bring down T1 turret in the middle, you face the fact that your jungle is just going to be completely threatened out.
Jay kicked Nomad away for now. The members from the side of Flash SG couldn't keep up. The Lancelot is only tackling the Uranus for now, as Vanix once again gets picked up by Bougie as well. It's very amazing how Bougie was able to find all of this pickoff right here, the deadly catch right here, to kind of throw it all the way back, destroying the turtle. The Bougie will be able to just teleport away to safety, but Hades still able to tag onto Bougie for now.
Good consolation prize for Team Flash. Managed to repel this aggression from Absolute Zero. But unfortunately, that's not quite enough. So taking it down, the T1 turret down to the bottom lane ultimately will get a little bit more value. But if they get Nomad, he didn't though.
Jay kicked Nomad back to his safety again. This is the second time I saw him doing that. And it's just awkward, right? Because it's either you kick him now or... And in fact, that's also another flicker being used by Jay as well. So the repositioning from Jay is not there for now.
I guess that when it comes down to positioning, it's going to be relatively tough coming in for the members of Flash SG. Especially since you want to deal with a Grok, right? When a Grok has got a lot of ways to, go CC immunity, right? So
Yep.
only when the time where, CC immunity ends, then only I can kick you. So sometimes the timing as well as the frame is just so small, it incurs a little bit of a panic, and I can totally understand Jay on that.
Yeah, but like, I think if you're playing against Absolute Zero, who is more than happy to just take over the mistakes that Flash SG is literally throwing at Absolute Zero. Like, for example, that Cho, right, is just super awkward, right? This is the second time that Nomad actually was able to just save himself.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it definitely will be very good for Team Flash to be able to catch a couple of kills off of the Grok, but sometimes it's better to not over-engage for a lineup like theirs, right? They have a way to lock on, they have a way to pick off. They have Lunox as well as Lancelot for that burst combo. Bruno can come in for a little bit of a kill steal if they are able to, or rather if Vanix is able to, in order to accentuate his growth even further. But if they are unable to, it's always better to play a little bit safer and go over to the late game, because it's a Bruno. Bruno versus Yushin in the late game scaling, I think that the ceiling for Bruno should be relatively higher.
No. Actually, Bruno has a bit of a timer, right? I think Yushin in the later part of the game, if the team sets him right, like for example with Nomad right here, actually punching Hades down to the wall, Bougie credited for the kill. This is exactly what I was talking about, right? Like Big Cutie is just enjoying so much because Nomad as a Grok was just literally setting it up for him.
As such now, Turtle is going to be in the priority of AZ with a total of 3,000 gold lead. Team Flash are not the best way to start the game, especially since now AZ is right on their door of T2.
Coming in, already expanding the kick already. Unfortunately, I think it landed onto Nomad. And now with the deadly catch right here, Bougie will be jumping in all the way into enemy line. Hades credited for the kill for now, but Fake Cutie does throw the Mount Shocker onto Closer.
Not going to be enough to get a kill on the Closer, but that gives us a pretty good information as to the amount of damage that Fake Cutie could dish out over to Team Flash. In the meantime, I just kind of want to take a look at Fake Cutie, right? Because he's currently got 3 kills and 4 assists. He should have quite a bit of bounty onto his head. Understandably, Team Flash would want to prioritize onto him in order to look for a comeback potential, because at any point in time, if they get a kill on the Fake Cutie, that is a swing that they can expect.
Okay, that's going to be a kick. So much investment onto Vendetta finally brings him down. That's like 1, 2, 3. 3 ultimates already committed. Hades right here trying to puncture all the way into Bougie, trying to assassinate him. He's able to do so, but unable to do that one because Nomad is around in the vicinity.
7-5. The Lord coming out in a minute. The way that Absolute Zero have scattered themselves ensures that they have control throughout the entire river line, not allowing Team Flash to go anywhere further than that. The only thing that they allow is Jay, because he's a very slippery fighter. He would just go anywhere that he deems worthy.
Oh, finally a good opportunity, but the Purify from the side of Bougie will allow himself to stay alive just a little bit more, burning away quite a lot of utility from the side of Flash SG. In fact, 2 of the ultimates of Lunox for Curtizi is already burnt away.
Unfortunately, Yushin was not able to come in the nick of time and not able to continue the fight or dish out the mass burst that we want to see. But that's also a good thing, so that AZ don't overextend themselves. They have already pushed Team Flash a tad bit. They just need to gain control of the Lord. They just need to get priority and just slowly play this out.
Vendetta sees so many things right there, providing so much information. Now the Guardian Barrier will brilliance, and now Jay, the punching bag from the side of Absolute Zero, gets knocked down by the side of Deadly Catch. And now members on the side of Flash SG, unable to try to find anything, unable to approach the Lord Pit anymore. Nobody from the side of Flash SG can peel. Alex Hades can commit some form of mischief right here. From the execution, he actually takes away the Lord from the side of Absolute Zero, but he will pay for his life. But of course, Medic shuts down Fake Cutie.
Hades just doing Hades things, stealing the Lord right under the nose of Absolute Zero. But in the meantime, Absolute Zero also says that he gotta have to pay for his arrogance.
But Vanix was able to take down Fake Cutie though, and now with Flash SG, the Lord swinging into their favor, and now Vanix is actually coming start online. You can see the football actually hurts Nomad quite a lot. Vendetta right there, Closer, trying to slow down the retreat from the side of Absolute Zero, but the members on the side of Flash SG switches their crosshairs onto Bougie. Bougie looks like a very juicy target right there from the side of Flash SG. Closer, it's in the midst. He will be able to take down Bougie as Vendetta slowly losing steam just a little bit more. But no, Vanix gets shut down by the side of Fake Cutie.
Esmeralda is staying alive throughout this entire fight. No one is touching the Esmeralda at all, putting quite a lot of these passive damage until they probably have a way to really deal with him. Most of the time, they will ignore.
But his mana is actually starting to run low, right? So he has to back off already, and the Lord, unfortunately, were already dealt with. And it's going to be Fake Cutie trying to be, Hades trying to jump onto Fake Cutie, will not be able to do so. The Guardian Barrier from Nomad slowing down the approach from Flash SG. At the very least, they cut open some form of real estate for themselves.
This definitely helps Team Flash though. They were originally about 3,000 gold deficit and they managed to catch up, but at only 600 gold deficit. They managed to reclaim some of these lands, they managed to take some of these creep waves that they managed to run together with. So that's farm, and those farm will then translate into something even better. If we thought that Vanix wasn't having a very good farm, that's when you're wrong. He's currently at 7,600 gold with the Heart's Claws, Berserker's Fury, as well as the Great Dragon Spear. So he's got quite a bit of utility and damage. He's just a tad bit away from Yi Sun Shin at 9,200 gold with total of 3 items. Hunter Strike, Endless Battle, and the Blade of Destruction. This is still a game where Vanix can come back into play because both of these marksmen are just 2 items away from completing full items. The moment that Team Flash managed to find big opportunities to feed to Vanix, that's all good.
Getting jumped on by the side of Absolute Zero. Closer burns the flicker already, getting chased down. Members from the side of Flash SG unable to reinforce. The deadly cash to push Jay away. Yeah, that's an easy pick-off. Closer may have just overestimated how tanky he could be.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, the lead will be growing even further for Fake Cutie versus Vanix. At this point in time, the fight is all against and between the marksmen. Don't feed or don't give Fake Cutie any more potential farm. Well, in the meantime, don't let Vanix get the farm for the side of AZ.
Hades trying to make a play right there, trying to protect his own purple buff, but gets picked up by the side of Bougie. Thorn Rose right here gets smacked by Nomad. Jay coming in for the flank, but will not be able to find. Flickers forward just a little bit. Try to kick, but the kick goes a little bit wide. The deadly catch as well. Zoning out the rest of members on the side. Flash SG. Fake Cutie secures the Lord. Hades down low as well as Closer and Vanix will be trying to output in damage onto Nomad. Bougie raining down fire from the side of Curtizi. Curtizi goes into Brilliance. The members on the side. Flash SG. Salah spat on Curtizi and he'll go down. Closer unable to dance away, and now the rest of the members from the side, Absolute Zero turns around and takes Closer down.
That could be it. That could very potentially be the final fight that we will see between these two teams. Alas, Hades is still alive though, and what he will want to do is just relieve some of these pressure up in the top lane by spamming all the way through. There is, of course, a very menacing Lord that will be marching down from the bottom lane though. So they still gotta have to deal with this with only 4 members. As Closer is still 10 seconds away.
The Lord already touching onto the core right there. Absolute Zero is going in systematically destroying every single defense line of defenses from the side of Flash SG already. Absolute Zero, I mean, the damage from Salas is also there. Jay is unable to peel, he's gonna get busted down immediately.
Yep. I like the fact that Absolute Zero is not exactly throwing caution in the wind and being extremely greedy and impatient. They realize that, okay, we've got the T1, we've got the T3 turret down in the bottom lane. We can slowly make our advances later on because Fake Cutie is already on an advantage.
Oh, Closer getting knocked up once again. Half HP Jake trying to also do the same knockup. Babuji with the lantern threatening to pick them up. The battle of the assassins right here between Hades and Fake Cutie is there, but the rest of the members on the side of Flash SG is unable to support.
This is a tough comeback game for Team Flash if they ever wanted to try, right? Probably 2 good fights is what is needed. However, if the time allows them, or rather if the timing is good, they are able to get a full wipeout one way or another. They can still run it down in the middle lane if their wave is just pushing right in. So ultimately, I think for Team Flash, gaining control of the river line is super important. Gaining ways to just smash down the middle lane is also very important. So for Team Flash, if they find the opportunity to run in and contest for the Lord, it's gotta have to go down the middle lane after they dealt with the massive wave clear.
Yeah, but how is Flash gonna wiggle out of this one, right? Now, at the very least, Magnific Gun's already secured by the side of Phoenix, right? And Jay is unable to set up any form of good kicks, and even though Flash SG was able to kick somebody from the side of Absolute Zero, in Absolute Zero, follow-up is really rapid.
There's two very different kind of win condition in mind for both of these two teams. Absolute Zero just want to bide their time and wait for the Lord. Well, for Team Flash, they're waiting for a lane to be pushed out like this.
Hades.
And if Absolute Zero is too occupied with the Lord, they can take a proper fight if they somehow manage to get a very good pick-off from Jay.
Oh, Hades may have get caught just a little bit. The Phantom Execution, unfortunately, get this
That's
projector as well. Jay comes in, unable to find a kick onto Bougie, and now that's going to be a little bit awkward. Vanix throw in the worldie right there, but the Lord has slain by the side of Absolute Zero.
They invested a lot in that fight, but unfortunately, because of the Purify from Bougie, he got himself right out of dodge and will not be singled out by Jay. Unfortunately, that was the vision for Team Flash, and it was one of the only ways that they can get themselves an advantage in the upcoming fight. With this 16 minutes Lord marching down in the bottom lane and a very stacked up team from Absolute Zero in the name of Fate Cutie and Salus, they will have a bunch of problems trying to keep both of their T3 intact.
Yeah. Oh, some form of damage from the side of Hades onto Bougie, but then Flash SG needs to try to defend this one. It's a three-prong attack for the side of Absolute Zero.
They need one person to deal with the Lord. They need wave clear in the middle lane and the top lane. Fortunately, it seems like they managed to repel AZ just by a tad little bit.
Here's a bit of a kick onto Vendetta. The Deadly Catch to try to zone off the rest of the members for the side of Flash SG. Closer will be the main sacrificial lamb for the side of Flash
Good
SG.
sacrifice.
Throw himself right there to be dealt with by the side of Absolute Zero, as Absolute Zero ran out of minions to be able to push mid lane and perhaps even top.
Honestly, that's a really good sacrifice, but that also means that in order to make the sacrifice good for Flash, AZ, they have to take this turret down.
And not only just that, right, it's also up to Flash SG to deny that one. Vendetta leading the charge just a little bit. Here comes another Deadly Catch, zoning the rest of the members on the side of Flash SG. They've got even more from where they came from. Absolute Zero right here. The wall a little bit awkward coming outside of the Nomad at the same time. Flash SG still will be able to hold against Absolute Zero.
Good defense from Flash SG. They threw closer right into the face of AZ, forced AZ to deal with that, so that they have the time to deal with the Lord, one thing at a time. AZ also identified that, okay, we have already lost the opportunity with the Lord. However, we still have two very strong waves that will be coming in from the top and the middle. So that is where we will be able to kind of tally up against what the kind of value that we have lost.
Hades ultimately getting picked up. Bougie is literally being super annoying right here against Flash SG. Everything that Flash SG wants to do, Bougie is there to stop, be it as a force-up, be it as a juice-in, and it's so annoying.
There is still ways for Flash SG to win though. Even though that Bruno is already at max item and so is the Yisun Shin and almost Bane, there is of course that Lancelot can still stir quite a bit of trouble to the backlines, especially over to Bougie. I think that Bougie is tanky though, don't get me wrong, because he does have got the Winter Crown and the Blood Wings. So just Hades himself is not going to be enough. And we know the crowd control will not do anything to Bougie. So understandably, with Vendetta and Nomad always in the front line, I think the main thing for Team Flash is that they need to be able to out-poke the frontliners, and Curtizi needs to prematurely use his Darkening to really threaten Vendetta, as well as Nomad to pull out Salus and Fate Cutie.
Vendetta trying to open the map just a little bit, but don't worry, there's a Mountain Shocker coming out from the side of Absolute Zero. The knockup coming out from the lore onto Hades. Hades trying to shing away, but it's down, a little bit down low. Closer comes in for the kill. Fate Cutie, oh no, he actually gets shut down by the side of Hades, as Bougie will go on ham onto Curtizi as well. Vanix right here, but closer, NJ down low. Nobody from the side. Flash SG can peel for Vanix for now.
It is still going to be a 4v4. The good thing is that Hades is still alive from the side of Team Flash, and it looks like they're trying to go for something here.
Yeah, definitely defending execution. The thought rolls! Tags onto Bougie, and Hades will be able to walk on the way. And now it's just Absolute Zero. Salus, Vendetta, and Nomad has to make the run for the hills. Vanix is also trying to join the fight. The Deadly Catch trying to zone away, but closer is keeping his enemies super close around there. as Flash SG, but Phoenix turns around and go for the Lord instead.
Closer, this guy is not gonna die, but he himself
He's
and
close to death.
all alone, he will repel 3 members all the way back
But
to
he's
their
running out
jungle.
mana though. He's running out mana though.
It's
No
because-
man, hold on a second.
it's gonna do
No, he's not able to stop Hades, and Hades secures the Lord for himself. The deadly cash being thrown by the side of Absolute Zero. Fake Q goes into the Mountain Shocker, but it's a bit too late. Flash SG has snatched the Lord away from Absolute Zero.
That's what I'm asking for. As much as I really think that Bougie is difficult to deal with, and that's why I am suggesting for Fit Cutie or Salus to be the next one to be taken down. As long as they find Bougie, then that's all great. Hades did manage to find the #1 priority of the team. Ultimately, it's kind of the second easiest to reach, right? The first easiest to reach is always going to be the frontliners, Vendetta as well as Nomad. Secondly is going to be that Jusin. But the difficult part is because he does have Purify as well as a teleportability in the name of her ultimate.
Flash SG, they were dancing on the knife's edge right here, and now they're throwing that knife back at Absolute Zero, looking to drive a wedge in between that. Here comes a tectonic charge from the Nomad, and Bougie unfortunately get kicked, purified already. Jay gets picked up by the side of Bougie right here. The Lord already penetrate through, down at the top side right here. Flash SG looking to inflict even more damage, but the Lord is slowly getting dealt with by the side of Absolute Zero.
That was super value for Team Flash though. They managed to take the T3 turret in the top lane. Jay managed to land a kick on the Bougie, forcing that Purify, while Jay still preserves his own flicker. This upcoming fight will be led by Jay with and it needs to really make full use of that flicker.
And don't forget Hades. That's an open lane, the absolute top lane for the side of Absolute Zero. Hades can always
It's a free
sneak
avenue
in
down.
as well. Yes.
He can always be able to use these creeps as a trampoline to just get in super deep into Team Absolute Zero's backlines.
Yeah. But now, okay, consume play coming out. Here comes the Mountain Shocker. The rest of the side of members from the side of Flash SG has to buckle away.
Okay.
And that's the power of the Mountain Shocker, right? You use it, immediately everybody from the side of Flash SG backs off.
Yep, but that is also 2 ultimates that has been used. The Consecration as well as the Mountain Shocker. Team Flash, they understand that even after those 2 skills is used, it's not gonna be that big of an impact for them to just run straight in, because the Lord is coming back in 15 seconds, and that is a bigger threat that they have to uphold.
Mountain Shocker should be coming back in another, 20 seconds left. So I think right here it's still okay for Absolute Zero to kind of burn it away as the Lord. This Lord is gonna be pivotal for both of these 2 teams.
As both of these 2 teams currently puts themselves in a standoff. Jay opens up the map a little bit, but doesn't really see too much into war.
No! Hades! Oh, that's not how you want to walk into the bush right here. And all of a sudden, all the hopes and dreams on the side of Flash SG immediately just go kaput. Absolute Zero, a massive pickup.
Especially since the Lord is currently available down the bottom.
Oh my
Team
goodness.
Flash immediately concedes the possibility of stealing this Lord away.
That one bush. Oh my goodness. Is Flash actually trying to force their hand right here? They're going to try to delay. They need to buy another, 40 seconds right there. But I think Absolute Zero is going to blitz this Lord as quickly as possible.
I don't think that this is going to be an easy one for Team Flash at all, because it does seem like
Closer.
the Lord is currently... Oh, quick, look at Closer!
In the middle of the thing right there, Fake Cutie secures the Lord for himself, and Closer unfortunately has to duck out, burn the flicker, and the rest of the members of that Absolute Zero goes in for the concealed play, picks up Closer as Salus spat at him.
Complete cycled for a minute.
Oh,
Though
man.
Hades will be back, I think that they should still be able to do something here.
No, I don't think so. I
It's an
really don't
Evolved
think so.
Lord, yeah,
Yeah, it's
actually.
a 5v4, an Evolved Lord marching against you,
Yeah.
and you are basically at a 2-man disadvantage right here.
Yeah, and Closer can't sacrifice himself like that anymore. They don't have any more chess pieces to
The death
throw
time
in
is
and
too
sacrifice.
long. The death time is too long, Abstract. And I really fear for the worst for Flash SG as Absolute Zero leads the charge, but will be able to find out
Hades!
to the shutdown, but he will go down, unfortunately. Phoenix right here getting pummeled by the side of Absolute Zero. The Lord getting pulled over by Jay, but Absolute Zero doesn't really care because they have the minutes, they have the Lord, and they've completely wiped out Flash SG.
Absolute Zero is now the Absolute One to take the win out of this series that went all the way to game number 3.
A sweaty game for Absolute Zero, a massive confidence booster for these rookies, making a name themselves against the 4P champion. And he just got spat to death right there and then. And it's a burst damage, even though you've got your iframes. If you miss that, if you misplayed that, it's just over.
No, that's the Yushin Shin game that we want to see, right? So far, Yushin Shin games haven't been looking too great. Early stages is just meh. Mid stages is like, okay, I'm starting to pick up. And late game, you know, is just any other marksman that maybe doesn't do all that well. But for Fate Cutie himself, he understood that the early game is definitely going to be pivotal.
Yeah.
He does not exactly have a team that can really allow him to go completely online and go absolutely ham. But he make do with what he received, and thus, and alas, 12:2:8.
But the reason why Yushin really shines really well here as compared to the other Yushin that we've seen so far is that you've got the Bane for the Deadly Catch for the CC, you've got your Grok to really set out with the Tectonic Charge and making, and Bougie. Not only just that, Bougie also picking up all the members from the side of Flash SG, because Flash SG needs to dive in and Bougie is there to counter said dive.
It's a tough pill solo once again. But regardless, this is the emblem sets for all of the players that have went in for it. Understandably, when it comes down to Fate QD, I think that nothing's too interesting in here with the Assassin Emblem Thrill as well as the Season Hunter to go in as the jungler. Now, I think that one of the important things is for those people that want to try playing the Bane in the gold lane, this is exactly what Silas brought in with the Mystery Shop as well as the Thrill. I think that Thrill, a lot of people love it because of the...
You know why?
Why?
It's adaptive damage. It adds a little bit more adaptive damage, be it your main damage or your mage. For Holy Crystal, because why not, right? And don't forget, your cooldown as a Bane is not affected by, well, it is affected by your CD reduction, but another better way to basically minus down the cooldown is to build more attack damage or magic damage. If you have more magic damage, your second skill cooldown will be shorter. If you build more physical attack, your first skill's cooldown will be shorter. That's why adaptive damage makes more sense.
Right. In this game, I think that we were lacking in quite a bit of those pick-off potential from Jay, right?
He can't pick anybody off.
Bougie has got a Purify.
Bougie got Purify. Jay tried to approach.
Damn, Salas have got 4 Holy Crystal?
I just said that a couple of seconds ago. Were you not listening to me?
No, I probably tuned you out.
Bro, do you mute my voice to him?
What? Sorry? Do you say something?
You see my mouth moving, that's all. But
Reading
yeah.
your lips.
Yeah, but like, I agree with you. This is a very hard game for Jay, right? There's so many things that you have to look out for. You Shimpo, you can go forward, silent just throw a deadly catch on you, and Cho is not known to be super tanky, right? He's gonna get blown to pieces by the deadly catch, especially later parts of the game. You step forward just a little bit, you receive the lantern damage from the side of Bougie, and it's just very hard for Jay to basically play this game at all because of the roster that Absolute Zero picked for themselves.
It's like, if you see the Uranus, okay, great, that's a Uranus. But if I go over and kick him, can anyone kill him? Technically, I would like to believe it will be a very close one because you have a Lunox on your side. I'm not too sure whether we managed to see anything.